Might have to wear it all week. Okay.
It's going to be like 80 degrees this week.
But there's cotton, or no, linen and bamboo in it. And cotton. And we're filming.
Okay. Good morning. I guess.
I'm coming. Good morning. Yeah. Ta-da. We'll talk a lot about this today in a minute. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
This was my weekend. More on this later. Actually, not my whole weekend. So
I'm wearing
Hi.
my weekend too.
I'm Rebecca, and I feel like I'm behind a mountain of yarn that is not actually what we're talking about today. So I'm going to move. I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in Brevard, North Carolina, which is sunny. I forgot to talk about the weather because I'm tired. Sunny and not too chilly. You're the weather person.
I'm going to be the minion there. And it's going to be hot today. So I'm going to wear my sweater for all of like 15 minutes today. Well,
fuzzies.
After filming.
Oh, fuzzies are going overboard. Okay.
Feel better now?
A little bit. A little bit. We only had a half day on Friday. And we did like as much work as we possibly could in that half day on Friday. So there was a hot mess when we came in here today. Pile. Like if we had left the yarn where it was, you couldn't see us right now. That would be kind of funny, but no.
Actually, I think they could see us because the camera sat right over the top.
Oh,
but we couldn't see
we couldn't
us.
see what was happening. Oh my gosh, that would be crazy. That'd be absolutely crazy. So lots and lots of kit work happened. Excuse me, I got distracted. Squirrel.
Not a thing.
Not a thing. Lots of kit work was happening on Friday and over the weekend once I recovered. So we had a weekend. The reason, and we're let me slow down and take a breath. Okay. The reason this might be a short episode today is I had the first virtual coffee connections from my Chamber of Commerce of the season from 8 to 9. And then we were still running around doing a few things in between. And so we're getting going around 9:30. Usually we're getting going at 9 and we get a full hour in for you guys to watch. And we're going to see what happens around 10 o'clock. If we start having people show up, we don't have any appointments that I know of. I'll check. But if we start having people show up, then we might have to say goodbye really fast. So be ready for that. So, okay, backing up. The reason we closed early on Friday is I got my second COVID shot. And look, woohoo. Yes, and woohoo, first of all, and look, I'm still here.
We're what?
I'm standing.
Just over a week and a half from you being fully vaccinated.
Yes, and nothing's going to change at the shop. We had someone call the shop over the weekend and ask if we had sit and stitch times or help times where they could come in. That's very 2019. I will call her back later and talk to her about scheduling a time, which will probably be in 2 or 3 weeks' time. If she wanted to come in this week for help, sit down help is not happening. So, yeah. Anyway, so I got my shot midday, yay. And Brian got his shot about an hour and a half or so, almost 2 hours after me. And things were fine on Friday night. I went and took a big nap since I didn't have to come back to the shop.
I did too. It was great.
Then we didn't have sit and stitch and we missed you all, but I was tired, so I was like, okay. And I slept over. I was still tired. I was waiting for what's going to be? Am I going to get a fever? Am I going to not get anything? I woke up on Saturday morning and was just tired. My eyes felt kind of achy tired. So I was like, okay, I'm probably taking a nap today at some point.
Yep. I think you took 2 or 3.
I took many. I got up, I drank my coffee. I wasn't doing any extra work, but I was like, I'll start knitting. And I was like, wow, my arms feel heavy. I got to put them down.
And knit 2 stitches.
I got to put them down.
For 10
well,
minutes.
And there's more than they were heavy. They kind of ached.
Yeah.
And then, so by late morning, I was like, I'm going to go lie down. Why not? Don't feel like doing much. And yeah. And Brian's like, I have to practice piano and I have to do all these things. And I was just like, he never takes naps. And I said, it's okay to come lie down. This is different. And I said, and by the way, your shot was about an hour and a half to 2 hours after mine. So this could be what you're heading towards.
Come join the party.
Yeah. Well, and
by party, we mean
I
now.
went and lay down, and okay. So what I got aches, for full disclosure for people who haven't been vaccinated yet, and everybody gets different side effects, if they even get side effects. I felt achy. I felt sick. I don't think I ran a temperature. But I didn't get out of bed other than to go to the bathroom or make food for us because he wasn't, for most of the day after that. So between like 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 and like 6, I was sleeping on and off in bed, and that's it. And drinking water, and that's it.
I think we texted like 3 times.
Yeah. When I came up for air, and Brian crawled in bed about an hour and a half to 2 hours after me. Yeah. And somebody had to make us some soup since we never had lunch, and that was me. So, but by dinner time, by right after dinner time, mostly feeling human again. It's a weird feeling to feel sick, like to feel like the first time I felt sick in a while, and not to have it last for a few days. Yeah. Like it was, some people say it takes 24 hours. For us, it was maybe 12. I did go to bed early Saturday night because there was a lot happening in the house, and I won't bore you with all the details. And then I was just like, I'm done. I was in bed by like 8:30, done. Sunday I felt tired, but I think it's my normal level of exhaustion again. And I'm here and I'm tired, and coffee, I don't feel the coffee at all right now, but I think that's just normal stuff. So I'm really happy I've had my second shot. If you haven't been vaccinated, I highly recommend it. For people who say, and I'm not going to change your mind if you're not going to do it, but for people who say, well, why take the shot if you're going to get sick? If COVID's going to make you sick, this is totally different. And was not pleasant this weekend, but if that, like a lot of people say, if that was even a fraction of what COVID actually is, and I've heard some horror stories, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with feeling run down and kind of achy and for like a day or two. Headaches. I didn't mention I had more headaches and different than I usually do. I get migraines. These I would say were actually just head pain.
Yeah.
Which I'm not used to. I'm used to having so many side effects, not just headaches. And I was able to manage most of it with ibuprofen.
Food and water
and ibuprofen. And mostly the food and water probably, then the ibuprofen. So,
It's kind of funny how that works.
Yeah. And now I'm waiting to see when the tracker pops out. Okay. Okay.
Do you see Wi-Fi?
Ooh, all around me. No,
I've been waiting to see Wi-Fi.
Hasn't
happened yet.
I took the day Sunday to just knit. I'm going to show you some of that in just a second. But by Monday, I was back to work. And yeah, working all day on these kits on the computer was both a little boring because I'd rather be knitting, but I do it for you guys because I love you guys so much.
Literally
a little monotonous
all day.
and a little exhausting. I was basically sitting because the couch is where I do work at home. Should be at a desk, but literally on the couch all day doing computer work, and fighting off the cat when he wanted to be in my lap instead of the computer. But it was exhausting, but I think it usually is. So I think I'm back to almost baseline. I'm gonna try to be nice to myself for a few more days, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm ill for weeks. So anyway, this is what I was working on most of the week. I blocked this. I love how it turned out.
It turned out
and it's light and airy. And I know the fair warning, the second I take it off, I'm gonna look like I have little bugs crawling all over me because this says tweed in it, and the tweed is going to shed. It's a side effect. Okay. So before we get into the kits that are like the big thing of the week,
because both of us worked on pretty much 1, maybe 2 projects,
maybe 3.
Ooh, she got more accomplished than I did.
Well, I did a few rows last night to have something different for morning meditation this morning because I'm anal like that. What did you work on?
Almost sent Bernie outside to get sticks and a roll of toilet.
Someday I'll actually do that for morning meditation. And I bet my views will be through the roof because it's different.
No.
You know. Okay. What did you work on this weekend?
Friday night,
Oh, actually,
no.
go ahead.
Friday night, I pulled out my ranunculus I started because I couldn't figure out how to stripe through.
You didn't pull it out of the bag. You pulled it out.
I frogged it.
Yeah.
I'd only done the collar, so it wasn't like horrible, but I couldn't figure out how to stripe because there's the flowers and there's it's different increases and short. Anyway, the short rows actually are short instead of
your
thing.
plan for the ranunculus was to stripe.
I wanted
right?
stripes.
Mhm.
I bought 2 United foursomes and I used less than one on this sweater.
But you wanted to double strand.
I double stranded.
Buying 2 meant you could double strand.
I did double strand.
Yeah, by this sweater, she means the one that she's wearing. She made an entire sweater this weekend.
So everyone knows.
So
Buy an entire
she made
sweater.
a sweater.
I made a sweater, but it's shorter than normal people sweaters because if you were making this sweater, you'd make probably 4 to whatever inches longer.
There's a word for that, and it's very fashionable. It's called cropped.
It's great. I did.
But that's all her sweaters. Yeah.
It's the Il Grande Favorito.
Yeah.
By
And
Isabell Kraemer.
You did sleeves when you lost the will to knit, or you like the length?
No, I like the length. It was supposed to be short sleeved.
This is a summer sweater. Look, people.
It worked. What? Go ahead. Go.
The United foursome. It's foursome because it's this color. It's this head. Okay. It's a yarn from Queensland called United, and then they put 4 colors together and called it United foursome, and it's wool and cotton 50-50, right?
I think so.
I
should check.
Close to that, off the top of our heads.
Yeah.
And so this is double strand. It's like lace weight.
Yeah.
So double stranded would make it like a sport or DK. Well, more like that looks kind of DK-ish to me, kind of something. I don't know. Yeah, sportish. Anyway. But you did it on what size needles?
11s. The pattern calls for 10.5.
Go big or go home is what
I did
Yeah. Yeah. So that is adorable. Yeah. And
I do seed stitch instead of ribbing.
It's kind of see-through, but that's kind of the point. Like there's so many summery tops that I would woo. There's so many summery tops that I'm probably going to wear something underneath, like some of the stuff I'm working on, because there's lacy parts, there's other things going on with them. Or you do them on a big enough needle, because ventilation, you don't want to die in it during the summer.
Part of it was
underneath.
I wanted something to throw over my shoulders when I was at work or coming up from the car.
Yeah.
Because we're entering the season where it's too hot to wear more than one layer. But
I don't know of what she speaks, but
morning,
that's different.
I have 2 dresses on underneath this, and that's why the sweater's only going to be here for 15 minutes.
Excuse me.
But in the morning, it's still just chilly enough, like
something.
in the 50s, I need something on my shoulders. And if we're outside and then we come inside and into the air conditioning, a little something to transition back into the cold helps. So yeah.
So
that's what I did.
I made progress on a few things. I'm going to go backwards here. So the other things I had been working on, I didn't want to do because I did them multiple times last week. So I had to do something different for morning meditation this morning. So last night I got like 4 rows done on my cameo, which is the Melanie Rice shawl that I decided to make longer because go big or go home. And it's on a 60-inch needle, and it's almost lost enough stitches because it's getting shorter as you go to fit on the 60-inch cord here.
That looks so good.
It's so cool. But 4 rows, I mean, like I was here, maybe like here, and I got 1 row done this morning. So this is fun and huge and wonderful. And it's Fiber Spites Vivacious DK. So it's gorgeous.
Squishy.
So just I had to show you that. Because we got bigger things to talk about, even though this is huge. So what I spent, going backwards. Oh, this is kind of backwards. I worked on I don't even know if I showed you guys this maybe I showed you a little bit on Thursday, but maybe not. So we talked about the slow color changing mohair, which is yarn of product of the week until like tomorrow. And when we were showing it off last Wednesday, got to get my words right. I said, ooh, this would look so cool held with a solid to make a very basic sweater. So the no-frills sweater is what I, of course, instantly started making. And I was working on it during the chamber meeting this morning. I got into another color, which is kind of fun.
Ooh.
So this is what the retro looks like if it's held with a white fingering weight and used to make a DK weight sweater. I think that's really, really cool. And the green part down here, anything that looks kind of greenish tinge, is what I did this morning while sitting on virtual coffee connections. But this is the no-frills sweater. You don't have to do it with a fingering and mohair held together, but that's how it's written. And you could just make it with DK weight, single strand. But it's so soft and wonderful. And I'm so excited to see how the color changes. And I finally have it. I emptied out my yarnet so I could keep it contained. But this is the white it's being held with, Heritage Silk. And this softens the white so it's not like white, but it shows off the color that way without holding the mohair by itself. And I had a thought, I'm not going to act upon it, but my other thought was how cool that would look with black. Like, because the fuzzy,
oh yeah,
you would have a dark and broody sweater, but you might even see the rainbow in a better way against the black. Charcoal, maybe. I think black would actually be really cool. I see it. She found it. Okay, watch your head. I've been hanging out with Alexander all weekend. Watch your head. Coming back up. Okay, so because the other project I'm working on with a different color of this color changing mohair is the mohair by itself. And I'll really briefly show you that because I can't remember if I've showed off. We made kits for this, but we can talk about it another time because we're not going to have enough time. But you can see the color changing.
It looks so cool.
And like Liz joked, I don't even have to squint to see the color change.
No,
we got yellow in here. We got purple up here.
It was somewhere in here that she was like, if you squint, you can see the purple when she sent me a text. And now I don't have to squint anymore.
And it's going to change again. It's going to be fun. But this one is light and see-through because you're alternating between a thick yarn and a thin yarn. And this one is what happens when you hold the two yarns together, one a little thicker, one a little thinner, and just let it do its work. So, but as Trevor knows, ain't nobody got time for that. We got other things to talk about. One last thing to show you before we start talking about our monster kits, and I've left us like 10 minutes to do that. So,
and we might not have much time. I don't know if you noticed.
The people who kind of peeked at the shop as they're having coffee.
Yes, but I think it's one of our regular knitters too.
Yeah, she may not want to. We'll see. We may have to go abruptly once 10 o'clock hits. But the thing I worked on the most on Sunday, once I felt the will to knit return, and I was gonna wear it today, but this is more important, is I started working. Let me make sure this is not gonna pull out because that would be me. I started doing a whole lot of work on my Jody Long Summer Delight top, which I'm using the trying to find a good way to hold this up. There we go. I'm using the faucet pattern. And look, I got to the sleeve separation and I got far enough down where I was done with the cream, which is what the little cap sleeves were going to be in. And I said, let me just do the little cap sleeves. And it is so pretty. I'm so excited by this.
It's looking so awesome.
I tried it on and I'm pretty happy with the fit. It's a snug fit, but I'm pretty happy with it. And I think as I keep going, I'm going to really like it. So we're out of the cream and the teal right now because people went, ooh, and bought it, but we've ordered more. But the faucet is fun because it's got slip stitches, like mosaic work. It's got stranded color work. It's got eyelet holes. It's got bobbles. It has this slip stitches in terms of giving you texture right here.
It's a lot.
I'm about to head in.
Coordinates well.
Yes. And keeps you going because it's exciting. I'm about to head into the point where I will just be knitting with celery for as long as the green on this, for as long as I want the torso to be. So we'll see if I get bored. But and the coolest thing about this for me right now is I posted it on social media and I tagged Jody Long, and he said something to me. He said, thank you. He said, oh, it looks so good. And thank you for carrying my yarn. And, it was more formal. Like, there were better words than I'm using right now. But when a yarn manufacturer, especially one that is maybe not huge, but has, a person behind it, and it feels like that person is talking to you, you kind of fangirl a little bit. And this yarn is really wonderful. It's cotton with a hint of cashmere. And it feels like cotton, but a little springy. And with all the eyelets and everything in here, I think this is going to be a wonderful summer top. I think when I run around the shop helping people, I'm not going to be able to keep it on because I'm going to overheat no matter what I have on, and go down to my Sun Dragon t-shirt. But I'm so excited. Enjoying it immensely. So this week is Noncho week. I'm trying to flop this down. I was a little worried. This combo we made has cotton with a different yarn in between, and the cotton was flipping up, and then I blocked it. And it's mostly lying great, but if I do this a lot, it's going to flip up a little bit. So,
But mostly because you're doing that, not because,
so CasaPinka, every year since they started the local yarn store type up idea, which usually is at the end of the month. This year it was early and we were all caught off guard. So this promotion is still going on at the end of the month. She designs a pattern that she will give away with a code if you buy yarn from a local yarn shop, which we are. Ta-da! This is this year's pattern. It is called the Noncho because
it's not a poncho.
It's a poncho, but it's not a poncho because her daughter doesn't like ponchos or doesn't like calling things ponchos. So she gives them other names.
You need to send Alexander's name to her.
Yeah, I need to. Alexander was like, that's like a lazy sweater. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Cause no arms, lazy sweater. So this is our lazy sweater that this is my sample that I made for the shop in as close to her sample. And then she put out another sample that's totally different colors. And I went, because people tend to like the colors that she does her stuff in. And I get that. She made hers with Emma's yarn, which we do not carry in the shop, but it is DK weight. Usually like the past 2 or 3 years, she's been making things in fingering weight that are kind of one size fits all. And this breaks a lot of molds because this Noncho is DK weight. She may be releasing a fingering weight version. We do not have kits for that. We will have to help you one-on-one for that, or look at the yarn amounts and buy appropriate quantities, or ask us if you want us to help you with something on this. And this comes in several sizes because it's got to fit over people's shoulders and things.
Well,
right?
It's instead of just measuring here, you have to measure all the way around the shoulders.
We recommend that.
Yeah.
Because her pattern doesn't say that. Her pattern says measure your bust and add 4 to 6 inches. And I'm like, because that's what most sweaters patterns say. But this is a lazy sweater. So yes, like Liz is saying, I highly recommend her listing is up on Ravelry. You can go look at a lot of specifics in terms of what size you should make and how much yarn you're going to need. We recommend, because we did this for me and I like how it came out. I had a little trouble with gauge, so I had to do some magic math, but I made size 4. There are 7 sizes. We measured around my shoulders, like, and maybe not necessarily here, but like around your upper arms, and find the size that is close to that, but maybe a little bigger, because you don't want to be like,
keep in mind, it's a poncho. You're including the sleeves into the chest size.
That's the thing. The chest measurement has to have.
How much space do you want to be able to flap your arms?
So you could measure your bust, which is the biggest part of you here under your arms, and add like 6 inches. But my arms are bigger than 6 inches, each of them. So I made a size that I want to say was probably supposed to be between, like, it's supposed to be about 57 inches, but my gauge was a little off, so I knew it would come out a little bigger. and I was okay with that. And then when I blocked it, it's supposed to be 17 inches long, like 17 inches before you put this on the bottom for any size. And then you put this on, so it's closer to 18. When I blocked it, it got a little bigger, and I was okay with that. Because I was trying to shape up this lovely little chevron look that's only in the front and the back. Oh, I love how it looks in the back. That is so cool. And like I could pull this down a little bit to get a little bit more of that in the front, but I was like, yeah. She says, you know, like, I'm busty. I could have made it longer. I blocked it a little longer. You can do more stripes if you want. You can add length, but here's what we've done is this is a lot of work. We'll just be totally upfront. This is a lot of work. Is we broke it down based on her yardages. A lot of DK weight skeins are about 250. I'm going to sit back down. About 250 yards. So we looked at the yardage requirements. And we broke it into groups. So we've got a lot of drop-down menus online. We've got pick your color combo you like, and then pick the size you like. And we broke it into sizes 1 and 2. Should use roughly the same skeinage of yarn. And then sizes 3 and 4 should use roughly, I mean, it's going to be hit or miss on the outer edges, roughly the same skeinage of yarn. And then 5, 6, and 7 are going to use roughly the, you know, they're going to max out in the same way, or you might have leftovers, but less leftovers with a bigger size. We think it works.
The caveat on that is we did the measurements for no changes to the stripes, no changes to like,
and doing 3 colors.
and doing,
Yeah. So if you choose to leave out this edging color, which you totally can, you may use up more of your main and contrast colors yarn. And if you decide you need it to be longer, I had to crack into my second skein of the cream right in the last stripe. So I have a lot left over of the cream, but I needed a second skein. I had this much left of the aqua. Like, if I wanted to add another aqua stripe, I didn't have enough yarn. So if I wanted to make this longer, I would have to buy more yarn. Consult us on that, or just buy more separately. We've got kits listed where you actually save some money over buying the individual skeins of yarn. But you can make your own combo by buying individual skeins of yarn. That's great. If you let us know, if you either buy the kit from us online, which involves a few drop downs of color combo, size, and if you want an accent color or not. And only some of our combos have accent colors, because there's a whole other thing with that. It was intricate, but we've made it as easy as we can for y'all, and we're here to help. So if you buy a kit, or if you buy the right amount of yarn to make one yourself, and that's going to be probably at least 3 skeins of DK weight yarn, we will give you a code for a free pattern that will only work on Ravelry April 30th through May 2nd. And ask us
11:59 on May 2nd.
At Pacific time.
Time.
It starts at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 30th and ends like just before the stroke of midnight Pacific time on the 2nd, which is a Sunday. Only for the weekend will these codes work. And guess what? We're not open on the weekend. So if you want to buy one of these kits over the weekend, I will be monitoring like sales, and I will email you a code as fast as I can so you can get the pattern, but you won't get the yarn until next week or the week after. So depending on
if you wait until 11 o'clock on Sunday night,
I might not see it.
Yeah.
And then it's a $7 pattern, and it's, you know, but it's great to support local yarn stores. For the most part, this is a fairly easy pattern. Like from here down, super easy. There's just some increases every like 4 rows right here and in the back where you see another pointy part. This decorative element up here is fun and different and kind of bobble-like, but kind of not. And I would put it at like advanced beginner status. It's not like the most complicated thing in the world. So I would try it out. And if you've looked at CasaPinka's things in the past and gone, but it's teeny tiny yarn, DK weight, just a little bit lighter than worsted weight. It's really fun. So I highly recommend it. She recommended making it with the 3rd color or without, because again, if I stand up, look at that. you're using like 100 yards, maybe not even, of this third color. And she was concerned about making it cost prohibitive by having the third color in there, because you're using less than 100 yards. That's less than half of 100-gram skein. We picked, what we did when we made kits is we picked an accent color that we had available in a yarn that might work with the main yarn, but was packaged in a 50-gram skein to make things more affordable. This is how much I had left over of my 50-gram skein of Sammy for this. Most of it. I didn't use the whole thing.
If you have random skeins of yarn,
You might, yeah.
laying around your house,
You might want to do your own accent color from your stash.
Yeah.
So we gave you the option. About half of these color combos we came up with have the option for an accent color that may not be exactly the same fiber, won't be the same yarn, but could work. Like this is a cotton with a yarn that is an alpaca, linen, and bamboo blend. It works. The edging is different. It feels different, but I think it's kind of fun. Had a lot left over. If you've got a 50-gram skein or even a 25-gram skein of leftover stuff or a ball that you think is enough, use it. But what that meant was we gave you the option of buying it with or without the accent color, because some people will need the accent color or want it. And some people will say, I have stash, or I want to do it with only 2 colors. And most of the accent colors that we picked were less than $10 a skein.
Yep.
So it doesn't change the value of the kit a huge amount. But if you want a different accent color, you might have to go hunt around in the same yarn as this or a different yarn and buy a whole skein. That is on you. We weren't going to make you commit to that. So here's what we did. By the way, it's 10 o'clock. So if we suddenly have to go, then we'll either maybe show you some stuff tomorrow, but it won't be part of the product of the week thing. So
we could also talk about it on Thursday, because it kind of goes with our question.
It's true. Maybe we want to wait. People right now are watching and going, no.
Thursday, it goes with our question.
It goes with the question for Thursday. But then we have to keep track of all of this till Thursday.
We got to keep track of all of it till Thursday anyway.
I'm so torn, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go for a couple more minutes.
Well, we'll our
revisit.
week to go through.
Yeah. If anyone wants to buy before Thursday, you got to check out online. And we'll go into more depth, but I'm going to really quickly talk about the types of yarn that you can see online. So this one has Tweety Flex in it. You see that? Kind of, maybe, sort of. It's Mirasol Chi-Chi. So like this is the combo I used. Sammy, Chi-Chi. All right. And I have all the stats. Oh, that's a label. I have all the stats of what the yarns contain in the listing for these kits online. It's a long listing. There's a lot to read through, but it's worth it if you have the time to scroll down. People go to the site and they think that little block of text is it. You can scroll and there's more information there. A lot of information to help you make your decisions. So this is the combo I am wearing right now. If they look sold out, contact the shop, because we just may not have time to relist once we make sure we have enough in stock. There's, with the different sizes and everything, it gets complicated. We have a couple other combos. I will just briefly go, take a look online. We'll talk about it more on Thursday. If you want to scarf it before it runs out of stock, you might have to buy it before Thursday. That's the Tweety alpaca, linen, and viscose / bamboo. And it's wonderful and lightweight, and I love it. The other one we have that is superwash merino and merino, like the accent color is just straight up merino. The main colors are our Fiber Spates DK, which is our Vivacious DK, is our bestseller in the shop.
Yummy.
So yummy. We've got one. You want to hold one up? 2.
I like this one.
I know you do. And 3, I like this one. And then Liz picked a fun accent. We'll talk about how that worked and everything. So you can come up with your own color combo, but you have to look at what's in stock and how many skeins. In our listing for kits, we tell you for your size how many skeins of each you're going to need, how many are included in the kit. You can always make your own. But know that if you make your own, We can't substitute for the kit price. You're going to have to buy it at full price, which, might not be a lot more, but will be a little bit more. We can't substitute. It's too complicated.
We've tried.
Mix and match and make your own. Things that we have that have no accent color because we don't have a comparable yarn in a small enough quantity. We have Concha, has a fun color combo idea there. There are others too, but this is what we listed. We have 2 different color combos. Again, we'll come back to these on Thursday in more detail. In the Summer Delight by Jody Long, that cotton and cashmere. Oh, that'll be divine. A little heavier than what I'm wearing, but it will be divine. And once we get the teal and the cream back in, that would be gorgeous. We will let you know when it's back in. Maybe list it online, maybe just tell you to buy it yourself. And then some of the other balls, we have a thin DK, but merino, but thin. So that could balance out in terms of warmth. We have the Patagonia, which is organic merino.
The other one's right there.
Well, one of them. Yeah. No, it wasn't this one. It was thus merging it with the Jody Long Alba.
So we have the brown neutrals and the gray and black, and then
blue and gray. And these are thinner, so they'll be more open, but they're a warmer fiber. So,
they do fluff a bit. So
different amounts are needed. Check out the listing. Not to rush you all off to your days, but we need to rush off to our day. We can talk, like Liz was saying, and we probably should have just stopped like 5 minutes ago. Teaser though. Woo. We can talk more detail on Thursday. So we love you and we miss you. And we have knit night tonight for those of you who were starved for knit night because we did not have it Friday. So it's
virtually.
It's always virtual right now. That's it. 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom with the shop phone number.
828-877-3550.
And then we will do some products of the week tomorrow. We will have a Dear Becky and Lizzy on Thursday. And for Dear Becky and Lizzy, email liz@sundragonartandfiber.com. If you want to write us for a future week, we already have 1 question. Once we get 2, we're kind of getting loaded for 1 episode. Dear Becky and Lizzy, Sundragon Art and Fiber, 35 South Broad Street, Brevard, North Carolina, 28712. I will show this off one more time. I will say, this is the week to buy the kit if you want to get the code that will work this weekend. Kits are up. You can swing by the shop to see these in person, but you'll look at them outside if you don't have an appointment. It's not changing. It's really easy to sign up for an appointment online. sundragonartandfiber.com/shopping APPTS, or just go to sundragonartandfiber.com. You'll find it.
There's links.
Super easy. We've had people who've never come to the shop figure it out.
And before they ever talk to us.
Right?
Yeah.
And if we get really busy, it's going to be it's kind of hard for us to sign you up for an appointment. We will do our best, but it's really so much easier if you just do it yourself. If you call and say, hey, you got free time? We're going to say no. We're going to say, you go look when we have free time. Because we could say, yeah, we don't have an appointment at 2. And then someone has signed up while we're talking to you. And we do.
And that's happened more than once.
It has. Not to say we're like that ridiculously popular, but you never know. So we love you. We miss you. I feel like I'm going to try to wear this all day, but at some point I'll take it off and look like I have little Tweety flecks all over me. Anyway, bye.
Like us, subscribe, all that fun stuff. 600 subscribers will get us another sale.
Yeah, our sale is over for 500 subscribers, and I'm too far away from the mic now. So help us get to 600. Yay!
Yay.
Bye.